Luxury Reps, what's cracking? How is everybody tonight? We're gonna jump on and get it popping. Let's see here. Let me check my portfolio. I've been busy all night, actually doing other than crypto things. I know it's amazing to hear, but I actually have a life. What's crack-a-lackin'? I think I sound old when I say what's crack-a-lackin'. It makes me sound like I'm old. Oh, wait a minute. I am old. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. Sorry guys, I'm pulling some stuff up here. We are going to be interviewing Crypto Brandon tonight. And he's going to be on here in like 20 minutes or so. I wanted to kind of get things warmed up. I had a couple things I wanted to touch on and just kind of get the chat warmed up before Brandon jumps on. But yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to pull a few things up, some personal stuff so that I'm ready to rock. Yeah, man, 37. You know what? It's funny because when I don't even know. I can remember for sure being like age 9 to 13. And my uncles would like hang out with me and I like thought they were so freaking old. And whenever I hang out with my little nieces and nephews now, like I think to that. I'm like, damn, am I the old guy now? Like, is this how this works? Like all of a sudden I'm the old guy. Whereas I feel like I am, 21. Yeah, so at any event. I just think it's funny. Let's see here. Okay, cool. And let's pull up one more thing here. Boom. Brandon just hit the Discord with a message letting everybody know what time it is. Guys, I'm gonna let a few more people get on here. I'm gonna mention it again, but I will never freaking ask you guys in any of my comments on any of my videos. I don't have freaking WhatsApp. I'm not asking anyone for money. Apparently I have freaking arrived because today, for the very first time at least that I've noticed, I had an imposter. And when I told a couple people that, they were like, yeah, bro, it gets wild. And there's going to be people as you continue to have more and more people following you and wanting to talk to you. And so today I had somebody make an account that looked just like mine, and it was really close. It was only 1 underscore different than my account. It was really close. And I also had somebody message me privately, like asking like directly for Ethereum. Guys, I want to freaking help as many people as I can, but that's a tough ask. You know what I mean? So at any event, what's up with the rug pull of Cuban? I talked about that earlier. I kind of will tell you, I like Mark Cuban. I think he's a genius. I think that he does some wonderful things, and I think he's very technically savvy, which leads me to my next point. How does someone with such a huge team, with such large sphere of influence, with so much research capabilities, get actually rug pulled? I talked about it earlier, and I won't get totally into it again right now, so I don't want to bore anybody that was on earlier when I was talking about it. But basically, I just question whether he actually got, quote, rug pulled, or whether he just, got out on the way down. Basically, what it said was that the move from $65 to $60 scared out some whales. Guys, when have you ever heard whales getting scared out on a $5 price change? $5 out of $65 is 1/13, so that's like literally a 7.5% price swing. How is that scaring away whales? If anything, if they believed in the project, they'd be buying more. So, at any event, I don't freaking know. What's up, Luke Cave? Hey, Luke Cave, I got your message earlier, man. I didn't get to actually. I don't think I actually opened yours. Maybe I did. If I did, I wasn't ignoring you. I will get back to you. I'd probably need to talk to you off of here to kind of talk that over. And yeah, I'm not so positive whether I'm going to end up doing that, but I do appreciate the freaking offer for real. So yeah, I'm not so sure about the Cuban rug pull, whether I believe he just, lost a little a little bit or what happened there. Guys, if you're just jumping on, we're going to interview Crypto Brandon. He's going to be on in about 15 minutes. I'm going to mention that probably freaking 10 times as the numbers in the chat or as the number of people in here start getting bigger and bigger. I'm going to keep mentioning the fact that he's coming in. And so we'll get into the interview again, like in 15 minutes. I just confirmed. He just texted me and said that he is eating food and is then jumping on. So he has confirmed he will be on. For any of those that weren't on earlier today, just so you can set your calendar, I'm doing more than this, but hold on a second. So let me double check something. So I got another one since earlier that we're going to be doing. So I don't know a lot about this guy, but on Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. So let me give it to you guys. So this next week, so far, what I have scheduled in terms of interviews, I'm obviously doing my lives and all of that, but this coming week, Tuesday, 8 p.m., and I'll put out videos before and remind you guys and all that good stuff. But hopefully you guys are liking the interviews. I really got some great response about it. So yeah, I'm doing it. So Tuesday, 8 p.m., I talked to World War Bitcoin earlier today. He's going to be on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Going to interview him. Wednesday, the 23rd, the next day, Crypto Weatherman, 10 p.m. Now, guys, these are Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I always forget. Not everybody lives in freaking Ohio in my time zone. So yeah, 8 o'clock on Tuesday, right now, World War Bitcoin. 10 o'clock on Wednesday, Crypto Weatherman. Thursday night, I'm super excited for this one, Crypto Wendio at 10 p.m. And then there's going to be more to come. I'm waiting to hear, I think, Coach JV, I'm waiting to hear what day he's going to do. I'm waiting to hear Blockchain Boys answer what he's going to do. Crypto Insight UK is going to do it. Waiting to hear from Mac and Cheesy. So yeah, guys, if you really want to hear somebody, go into my video that I did regarding all of the interviews. It's, I don't know, maybe 5 videos back, 6 videos back, 7 videos back. I don't know. And tag who you want to hear. Like, guys, freaking hit them up in those comments. I've talked to most everybody. I have not talked to Mac and Cheesy. He shouted me out earlier in his live stream and just said that I was dropping knowledge bombs on people, which I thought was funny. So I know that he's aware, I believe, but I have not actually talked to him. So that's what's cracking. Did I watch Pablo's latest video? No, I did not. And I will be honest with you, Cryptology, I don't put a whole lot of stock into what Pablo says anymore. And actually, I never really did. He's been right on predictions. I've been right on predictions. I don't ever talk bad about any of the other influencers. I'd love to have him on here and talk to him. But I just feel some type of way about some of the marketing strategies, if you will, that kind of go on there. But he seems like a good dude. I just don't like some of the things that are going on there. So I'll leave that be. And yeah, when the options expire, the problem with that thought process is it would need to literally get below 2100 or 2080 or something like that. Man, what are we at right now? We're at freaking, hold on. Well, I guess I could have just checked on my computer, but we're at 2361. Holy crap, what was this huge freaking, we had a huge spike today from 5 to 5:30, and then it dumped right back down. That's so stupid. At any event, yeah, I don't see that happening. That's just me. I could be totally wrong. He could be right, and we could have another conversation. Kelly Dave, what's poppin', man? How you doing? Are you asking why I don't believe it? I just think that this market is actually turning around. I don't think we're playing these games where we're just totally going to bounce around. We might range for a while, but as far as Ethereum crashing, nah, I don't see it. So, thoughts on staking? Staking is a great freaking opportunity to earn passive income, make your money work for you. You know, there's only so many ways, right, where you can actually do nothing and make money, right? And staking's one of them. Now, when I say do nothing, you have to make a decision. You have to decide how long you want to lock it up or not. And then the longer you lock it up, the more interest you will accrue. The better. I shouldn't say it like that. The bigger rewards you accrue, guys. When you stake, if you don't know, you're basically providing liquidity, locking up. Let's just use ETH as an example, and you're letting that you're letting them that platform basically use your ETH, and in return they give you rewards, and you get rewarded generally as a rule in that native currency. So if you're staking ETH, you get rewarded in ETH. So I will be staking in the bear market, I will tell you that. Right now, with what I'm doing, I'm not currently staking. If I was going to be what I should be doing, honestly, guys, I've got a bunch of money in just some regular savings accounts which is totally against everything that I believe, but it makes my wife just, happy. So obviously I want to make her happy. What I really need to do is probably take a chunk of those, put them into stable coins, and just stake a bunch of stable coins. That's probably what I should be doing. I'm going to talk to her about it. Haven't talked to her about it recently. We've just been doing, so much with the new baby and everything else, and we're just doing great. So I can't complain, but I'm definitely trying to do that. Not really sure why you're saying the government is going to set us up as a terrorist coin, but I hear you, man. It's just FUD. It's all FUD. It's all FUD. If you've been in this market long enough, you'll understand that this stuff happens all the freaking time. There is always FUD. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. They understand how decentralized finance is going to change the banking system and the finance system as we know it. And when that happens, guys, don't think that they're not going to fight back. They are going to fight back. That's why some of these banks are freaking like closing down your accounts, right? Be careful. If you guys are trying to take profits, make sure you check with your bank, like where it's coming from. They will shut your account down. So make sure that you have a crypto-friendly bank. Ask. I'm just telling you, do your due diligence and ask. I had to ask because I've got like a bunch of different accounts for my business and personal, and I was like, wait a minute, like this is, I need to make sure we're good here. Crapped my jorts. Guys, let's just pause for a moment and recognize that is a great TikTok name. I always like to recognize the great TikTok names. Crapped my jorts. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. Crap my jorts. All right. That's really funny. So, Mr. 50 Cal, what's up, brother? When I went to buy my first crypto, my bank froze my account in case of fraud. Yeah, that's what they tell you. They're trying to slow down your transactions is really what I think is going on. But the other reality is that we have to recognize, guys, and I'm going to say it again. I said it earlier. There's so much fraud going on, period. Even on TikTok, guys, I will not ask you for money. I will not tell you that I have a WhatsApp and start asking you for money. Today, I got my first freaking impersonator, and just pay close attention that it's the correct person. Look at the number of followers. Look at the exact name. Mine is _crypto keeper. This person did _the crypto keeper. And if you glanced at it, as my pick to say, everything's the same. Obviously, besides the fact that he has 0 followers at that point, because I caught it right away. Like, I'm on it. I do not want to have that stuff going on. It literally will really irritate me. Like, I know it's going to happen. I get it. It's part of the game. But I've already reported him. I've already taken care of it. I've already blocked him. And so, it's sad, guys. So many people just try to take advantage of others, and it's like, why can't you just do something honest, Do something honest. Interview a venture capitalist, please. Well, hold on. Is that his name, venture capitalist, or you're saying you want me to interview some venture capitalists? Every one of you is venture capitalists getting into the crypto markets. That's essentially what's going on. Jojo, welcome. You said you live in Texas. What's the significance of a new legislation to make Texas a crypto-friendly state? I don't know the specifics. I know Ben Armstrong from BitBoy Crypto was out there talking to the state legislature. But basically the crypto-friendly states are allowing so for example, like in New York, there's literally a lot of different exchanges and things that you cannot do, period. It just won't, like, you can't process any transactions, right? In Ohio, where I'm from, I haven't run into that period at all. I think we're a crypto friendly state. And so ultimately, it will get better and better with the things that you're able to do versus not able to do. But to be 100% with you, I did not look into what exactly, Texas is calling out there and what they're trying to do. So, okay, so hold on. His name is Venture Capitalist. Okay, let me look. Go in and tag him. Venture Capitalist. Go in and tag him in my video. I'll check it out, but what would be better is tag him in my video, and then get him to see that. And the video's like maybe 5, 6, 7 videos back. I don't know how many it's back, but basically it just talks about how I'm going to be interviewing all of these influencers. I hate calling them influencers. They're freaking creators. I don't want to be called an influencer, guys. Please don't call me an influencer. I don't. Only thing I want to influence is good decision making, right? If I can be a good influence on you, and you talk to me about drugs and alcohol, and I'm able to maybe help you make a better decision on turning things around with that. If I can maybe influence you into making smarter decisions, I'm not sitting here giving you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but if I can just make your overall portfolio just the way that you react to things maybe a little, if I just I want to influence in a positive manner. But I feel like sometimes the word influencer sounds like you're just like, pushing off like products on people. I don't know. Maybe I'm just totally wrong, but Crypto Machinery, what's up, man? Laser Beam had your identity stolen, your whole identity. Oh my gosh, that's really awful. That's really awful. People just absolutely just, man, they need a life. It's like if these people put the amount of time and effort into doing something good for themselves, where would they be? Guys, I literally started a construction business from the ground up, not even 4 years ago, and we did 7 figures last year, and are going to do well into that this year. I started by myself, no one else, and if I'm 100% just straightforward with you guys, I didn't really even know that much. I just knew I was a good businessman and I could make it work. And I mean, I've done simple things. Communicate, right? Do what I say I'm going to do, and my guys do beautiful work. Have you guys seen the guy on TikTok that's like, he's my favorite. He is probably hands down one of my favorites, where people do like this uber complicated thing that's really simple, right? Figure out a way to like uber complicate, like peeling a banana, and then he sits there and he peels the banana. I love that guy. He's freaking awesome. I just think it's so funny. Mr. Fit the Cow, about an hour from the border. All right. We should have NF. Ooh, that's it. K-Woo. Listen, K-Woo coming out with the heat. K-Woo, I remember your name from last night because you were telling me that I should do the Beard of Knowledge, I think is what it was. I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? Oh, it's on one of these. It's on the back side of the sheet. But yeah, that's awesome. Uh-oh, here he comes. The man, the myth, the legend.
What's up, dude?
Brandon. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. You chow down on that Chipotle like we did?
Oh, man. I crushed it.
Dude, I slammed Chipotle. It's funny that we both ate Chipotle tonight.
Oh, yeah. My wife was like, I'm not hungry for anything. We're trying to, like, scale back and eat healthier. So she's like, the only thing I really can eat is Chipotle. So that's what we ordered for dinner. So,
yeah. I'm definitely a fan of Chipotle. Hey, so I was gonna, I don't know how many people, let me know when you get what you feel like is like a decent number in your chat. I've got 21 people in mind right now. I've been having more like 30, 40, 50, 60. I won't just like wait for that to happen. But if you want to wait a couple minutes, we'll chat about a couple things real quick and then get started. Just kind of let the chat heat up.
I'm good.
Yeah. Good with that. So, dude, I got to ask you, I was telling the chat, I said, listen, I don't have WhatsApp and I'm not going to be asking you for freaking money or anything else. You've had that happen, right? Actually, I think I know you have because you sent one to me.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people impersonate me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's more the concern that, like, how do I convey this to my followers that it's not me without them thinking that it is, because they do the same thing. Like I just duetted a video, the whole thing that went down with Ledger, or the people that are trying to scan through Ledger using the USB cable. Yeah. Like, who do you trust? Who the heck do you even trust anymore? Like, and like you said earlier when you were on live there, like your name was an underscore away from the real thing. Like they make it legitimately close.
There's one of Crypto Wendy, and I actually meant to tell her when I was talking to her today. I meant to tell her, and I just got sidetracked and forgot. There's one of her that says it's exactly the same, and then it says Wendy no. Well, when you just read it and look at the picture, right, you don't see the end. I'm telling you, you don't. Like, you just don't see it. Like, you read through it, but then if you open it up and you see that it's got like, but listen, there's 400 followers in there, right? Yeah. And so it makes like people are, and mine, when my wife looked at it, she was like, well, how'd they get the same name? It took her.
Yeah.
And she knows what, and she knows, it's so frustrating, dude.
Or they'll go in and they'll do like instead of an O, like Crypto Wendy O, they'll do a 0.
Yeah.
And you never think like the oblong O is going to be a 0, whatever.
Oh, it's so freaking frustrating. Yeah. So, guys, we're gonna interview Crypto Brandon. If you're just getting in, if you're not following Brandon, shoot him a follow. Him and I actually cut it up and chat a lot. We definitely have become friends through this, and I just really appreciate he's super down to earth, and is gonna spit facts. You guys tell me that you like the fact that I'm just who I am. Well, that's what you're gonna get with Brandon too. So shoot him a follow if you're not following him. But if you're following me, you're probably already following Brandon too. But hey, we
this past week has been weak sauce for me as far as content goes. But things will get back to normal early July.
Yeah, but you had a bunch of family stuff going on, dude. I get it.
True. My son is 5 years old today.
Happy birthday, son.
Yep, we made him a
great gift, son. Thanks,
oh yeah, man. We made him we got a big massive like tire. Oh sweet, I just got my staking rewards from crypto.com. Cool.
Nice.
We got like a big tire from like a tractor, and then put like a big kiddie pool inside of it, and then filled it with sand. So that's his thing now in the yard. It's like a big sand pit. So keeps him safe with the rubber and all too. So
and having fun with that, I'm sure. Hey, somebody in the chat said something really interesting. I was starting to touch on it, and then you jumped in. KWoo88 said, well, first of all, KWoo told me that I need to have like a daily or weekly beard of knowledge, and it needs to be a day where I'm like, because I was talking about doing like some specific, like, hey, let's learn simply what's blockchain, and just like do a live, stuff like that. At any event, KWoo said, do beard of knowledge. But today, KWoo said we should have NFTs for our identities. Thoughts?
Wow.
I know. I was like, damn, KWoo, bring it.
I mean, in all actuality, I mean, you could do that with things like your fingerprint or like legitimately, like you probably could do that and then track it back. I mean, the reality is like where that stuff actually matters isn't when it comes to, I guess it does count when it comes to people when you're getting through systems, but usually it's with like computer systems, like they're using a fingerprint to bypass biometric information and things like that. So,
well, what if there? So this is just quick thought off the top of my head. What if? Okay, so everyone has an NFT of their actual identity, right? And it comes with like a, I don't know, I'm just using an example, but like it has like a QR code with it, and you actually can validate the combination of the QR code and or let's say a fingerprint with it as well, and be able to validate it for a whole freaking number of things. I feel like that could be wild, man. I actually think that's a crazy idea.
Yeah.
And then it puts our identity on the freaking blockchain, which at the end of the day, I think Chainlink bringing off-chain info onto, I think that's going to be an example of some of the things that are going to be happening. Police departments, right? Medical, the medical field. I mean, all of that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately down the road, there are certain elements of our life that are going to be not public knowledge, but trackable. Like doing an NFT like that would be kind of interesting for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when it comes down to it, the people that are tax-paying, law-abiding citizens that go through that part of it, like police through whatever system, warrants or whatever, would be able to find out. They wouldn't make the mistakes they are right now with getting the wrong person because they had poor info. At least it'd be legitimate info. Now, do I want them tracking everything I do? Absolutely not. So
no, but it's a cool idea to verify and validate certain things that need to be. Somebody just said they've had people message them already saying they were me. Guys, I literally will not just reach out to you and ask you anything wild. I won't be asking you for freaking any money or anything. Best I can tell you is if you really want to, I'm probably going to actually turn off my TikTok messages unless we're friends. So if you go onto my bio, my email address is there. Go through my email address. It's literally CryptoKeeper at yahoo.com. So it's
great. Now we're going to get CryptoKeeper 1 and CryptoKeeper.
I get it.
With a C.
Yeah, I hear you.
That'll happen.
So yeah. All right, cool. How many people do you have in the chat right now, Brandon?
I got 6, but it's cool.
Okay. Well, you tell me when you want to get started.
I'm good whenever, man.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's do it. So, guys, if you haven't been in before when I've done an interview, basically my goal in this is to kind of get to know the creators better. A lot of people, I had heard some people saying, and I've talked to people before where they say, well, once the creators get all these followers, like they're out of touch. And I haven't had that experience at all. And so I just thought it would be cool to be able to have just a down to earth, like, hey, who are you type of conversation. And so we're going to kind of go through some stuff. I'm going to ask some fun questions too. I've definitely got some interesting ones that I like to throw around as well. And then at the end, we'll talk some crypto. So let's kick it off. So Brandon, tell me your name, age, where you're from, and where you live now.
Can you hear that siren?
Yes, I can. You can wait.
It happens in town every night at 9 p.m.
Really? Why?
It's late right now. I don't know why. So we live in such a small town that that's our curfew for the kids.
Okay.
And that goes off at 9 every night.
It's a freaking curfew for the kids?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
They get picked up by the police if they're out and they're under 18. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Old school. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Something you learned right there, right? Yep. Yeah. So name is Brandon. I'm 31, turning 32 this year. Gosh, why'd you have to ask that question?
Hey man, I'm 37 over here. Chill.
I just can't believe whatever. I'm getting older than I anticipated this quickly. So, I was born in Wichita, Kansas. My dad is a pastor, so we traveled like all around the United States. So he's a music minister or director of worship. So we went from Kansas to from there to Columbus, from Columbus to Florida, from Florida to Virginia. Virginia moved 3 times in Virginia, back to where I'm at now in Ohio. Wow. So I've been around the map a little bit.
That's wild. And so your dad, you said, was a music minister. So I've talked to people about this. I'm a Christian, and I definitely am open about my faith. What I've heard, I have a lot of friends who, are pastors' kids or whatever. How was that for you growing up?
That was weird. It's cool. I mean, there's a lot of things that I got involved in with my church that were unique to just being a PK. But in general, I mean, there's some things that, maybe I was kind of sheltered from that probably should have learned a little bit easier in life. But by and large, it really was no different. Obviously, there's a lot of people that treated me a little bit different because I was a PK. But yeah, it was pretty. It was tough moving around. I'll tell you that much. Like, I never got acclimated to a school.
Right.
Like, or the second that I would get comfortable, like, at a young age, like you hit that time where it's like, you're going to pop into a school, you get used to your teachers and friends and things like that.
Yeah.
But second or third time we moved, I stopped trying to make friends and stopped trying to like really get to, because I just anticipated that like we move every 10 months or whatever. So,
when's the ball going to drop? And then, man, I bet that would be hard for sure. So what, so after that, do you have a what's your highest level of education? And if you did go to school somewhere, where'd you go to school?
So, my highest earned is high school. I did go to college for like a semester for Bachelor of Arts in Computer Science.
Yeah.
And I got super bored with it because I already knew a lot of it. Like we started off with binary, and I'm just like I'm Snorfest, so I went like straight into work, straight out of that pretty much.
What'd you do?
So I contracted for IT for probably the next 3 or 4 years, and then I actually established a career as an IT administrator.
Okay.
So I was pretty much working in IT already, and at that time, like in our industry, like certifications and stuff really spoke more than like a degree to a degree. So in those situations, they were kind of like we had interviews with people, and they were like this person had. This was like right around the time that college was like going online.
Yeah.
And they would actually I actually sat in a room because I was hiring another technician to work with me on a project, and they looked at his online schooling and saw that he had like 80 hours or something combined and just pitched it. And I'm like what? Like he at least he got his degree. Like what's the reason for pitching it? He's like, it's online. It's not the same. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, none of this makes sense anymore. Like none of it is how it was intended to be. So
yeah, you know what the wild thing? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue. You said at that point what?
Oh, it's just at that point we're looking at like CompTIA exams and things like that he was looking for and stuff that I'd already been working on. So it was like college really wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. I think it's wild. I went to Ohio State, but literally don't even know that I was there full semester. I was too into the girls and partying at that point, right? Yeah. But I think it's really interesting, man. There's a real shift in the thought process with school, and I'm kind of with it. I don't think that unless you need a degree to do what you're doing, I will take somebody all day long that has experience over coming out of school. And it's just a reality. Like, you don't have any freaking experience. I would much rather have you in that field working, learning, and then
even if you're failing.
Dude, you're doing more than like the school stuff that we would learn has nothing to do. Like people, I can't tell you how many people I run into, and they're like, "Yeah, I've got $50,000, $100,000 worth of debt for school," and guess what? They don't use their degree. You know.
Yep. Happens way too much, and honestly, like there's certain industries like you can't avoid it. Like you have to go to school, like nursing and things like that. Like you should in that case, but by and large, like I know way too many stories that are like that. Like they went through high school, they maybe started college or they never did it at all, and they're like here because they did the hard thing and actually worked. Right. But yeah, I mean, I would, because I also am a small business owner, so for me, it's like I would much rather.
So what are you doing now?
So I have a couple things I'm doing. I do this for fun on the side, kind of whatever, but I also run a store with my wife and my cousin, who we're all business owners, and we kind of work through a retail store. So I help and hand make certain things with some equipment. I have we're working on CNC laser stuff, making little things for them, keychains, stuff like that. But primarily, my main role long term there is to be basically like the production, like director of production. So basically, I work on building the POS system. I run that, do inventory. I do all that stuff. So internet, putting in an audio system this week, like we're just doing a bunch of random things. So,
man, I will tell you, and I think that you'll see this as you do it longer too. I will never work for someone again. Like working for myself is it's a risk. It's not easy, and you have to put yourself out there. But I'll tell you what, like there's nothing like it. I know, and this kind of leads me into my next question. Obviously nothing like personal. You have to tell me like all sorts of personal stuff about this, but like you seem to me to be a family man, right? So what's that look like in relation to what you're working, how you're working, and how many kids do you have? Like what's that look like?
No, that's actually a really good question because I mean it's the whole it's the whole purpose behind like why I chose to do what I did. So in this endeavor, like the whole thing is like we sat down and talked about how the fact that like our generation, at least the age group that I'm in right now, like the 30 to 34-year-old range, they're kind of stuck between this like you're going to be completely piss poor, or you got given money from the previous generation and you've been doing pretty decent for yourself, and they really haven't been prepared on how to even like take that to the next level and prepare themselves for like future wealth and things like that. So they're just going to burn through that money. But we've just lost all investment knowledge and all of that. And I never was taught any of it. So for me, like I've been trying to do this, and my whole goal for this was that I wanted to be the person, because I know that I'm the one that the odds are against, right? So they're expecting me to fail. They're expecting me not to have much money. And my goal is to create a way to give my kids what I didn't get.
Yeah.
And also I want to teach them the things that I'm learning so that they can reproduce this for themselves down the road. And I was never getting that. So for me, this endeavor, this job, this, what I'm doing out there, it's to create multiple streams of income, passive income. Ultimately, like this store is going to be self-sufficient. This is the first time that I've ever hired any employees, which is just wild. But we're opening July 2nd. We've got 2 or 3 employees that are really like good people. I've always been on the receiving end of like doing interviews and things like that. So this has been interesting to be like, and here's the other thing too, like in all the businesses I've ever wanted to start, I've started and failed more times than I can count. But I've always wanted to be that one boss that I never got, which is the super understanding that, gets what's going on. Like clearly there's rules, right? But, the one that's willing to work with that person that's actually struggling and not putting people in boxes that, everyone can just, get out. When I left my job that I was working at previously, which I was working for Apple, when I told them that I was quitting to do this, it was cool. Thanks. Like I was replaced the next day.
Yeah.
So it's just that culture. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it's healthy. So I'm out to do kind of multiple things. I want to create an environment that people that work for me are happy to be there. Whatever that looks like. If this thing on TikTok takes off, I want those people to be happy if they're editing for me or whatever, like down the road. With my kids, I want them to be taken care of. So, it's all encompassing, relational family stuff. I want them to be able to have like, my wife wants land. I want to buy a house with like a nice backyard, a deck, talk about it all the time. Just where they can run around. Like right now I live, like there's a major, not interstate, but like a highway, not highway. What is it? State route.
Okay. Yeah.
Right next to my house. And my kids, like, we're constantly like, don't run the road. Don't do it. And like, I don't want to do that. I want them to be able to run around and, have fun. And, if they do run out in the woods and they end up doing something, they're going to come, back home. I'll know that they're where they're at outside. So, but that just can't happen. There's too many weird things. And there's a store like right next to our house. We're like yard to store with somebody. So there's cars parking there all the time. It's just annoying.
And unfortunately, we live in a world where you just have to be a little more careful than that,
Oh yeah,
for sure. So, in relation to that, that's kind of the family side of things. What kind of stuff do you do? Like, do you have hobbies? Do you have pets?
Yeah. So one of my buddies, Kiko, is in the chat. He and I and a whole group of guys, like we play games a lot. We play video games a lot together. Real close friends from my area. We've always been
What's
pretty
your
close.
favorite?
My favorite video game? Oh my gosh. I mean, we float between games. So we've been playing a lot of Scum. I don't know if you ever heard of that game. It's like an open world survival game. It's crazy. It's really addicting and fun. But we hit these waves where we play it, and then because it's really like everything is a grind. So when you do lose everything, you're like, I don't want to play this anymore. And then you kind of like reset after a couple months, and then you try it again. So we do that. We've been playing. At least one of my buddies and I have been playing Elite Dangerous. It's like a space sim type game.
Are these PC games?
Yeah, PC for life. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, not a console guy. But yeah, it's been primarily that. Me and my buddy that's in chat right now are just kind of like goofing around with RuneScape again. So we're gonna play that a little bit, old school RuneScape.
I've never played any of these games. The only stuff that I like some of the adventure games like the Spider-Man or like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But and actually Assassin's Creed is probably one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
But I just have the only thing I'm playing anymore is freaking Call of Duty. Like I'd get on and just play with some of my buddies. It's something to do. It's whatever. So
I had a realization because I used to play Warzone a lot with a couple of my buddies, and then I realized that when I uninstalled it, I got half my hard drive back.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
So I was just like, I can find some other games to play that doesn't, because I do video editing. I do a lot of other things. I do video editing on the side, and I'm trying to edit projects, and I'm like, 50% of my hard drive over here is like, it's not really 50%, you know what I mean? A lot of it is just freaking Call of Duty games. So it was right as they were transitioning into Cold War, and I was like, this may not even be what I really want anyways. But yeah, I like Call of Duty too. I'm a massive Battlefield fan.
Okay.
So
I played Battlefield.
Yeah, I'm like amped for the new one coming out. The
2042. Is there a new one?
So yeah. They dropped the gameplay, the trailer for it. It's pretty freaking dope. So that's probably where I'll be at. We just swap around from game to game and just have fun here and there. Really, it's just that's the way I decompress. I know it sounds, that's my way of chilling and just like decompressing. When my wife goes to bed or the kids go to bed and I'm still up, I'll come downstairs, I'll play a game, and then go to bed after that. So
yeah, I'm with you. I'm either doing that or playing guitar or writing a little bit of music or whatever. I like the games too, and I actually had stopped for a long time, and then kind of got back into it when some of my buddies were like, "Come on, let's play Call of Duty." I got a PS5. I got lucky and got a PS5, and then but at any event. So tell me a random. This one might be kind of hard, but tell me a random fun fact about yourself. Something that like nobody else would really know about you.
Man,
like maybe your wife is gonna know, I'm sure, but I'm just saying, like, just something random that's just maybe different that maybe we wouldn't expect, something off the wall, something that you just.
This is a tough one.
I know it is. I probably should have given. Listen, guys, just so you know, in the chat, I don't give anybody heads up on these questions because I don't want them to be able to have answers ready. But in fairness, this one I probably should have. I probably should have sent that to you just because I don't want to put you on the spot. And if you don't know it, you can think about it and get back to me on it.
I mean, there's quite a few things about me that's odd and strange for sure. One like weird thing about me is like I have a knife fetish. I love knives.
Perfect. Yes. Okay.
So like I actually am a knife distributor.
Okay.
I'm weird. I'm sorry. I'm so weird. This is one of my favorite pocket knives. It's all Damascus steel.
Wow, that's where they fold the steel over and over
and over again. Then you do the acid bath with it to get it to look like that. Wow. That's like my favorite pocket knife that I own. But I when I go somewhere, like I love to collect knives and things like that. So that's cool. One thing for sure. I don't know. Is that weird enough?
No, that's definitely, dude. That's perfect. That's exactly it. So
that and wallets, man. I don't know what it is, but
like
wallets.
Oh yeah. I don't carry a wallet anymore. I have my phone case that I just like put stuff in.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking on TikTok, right? This is where we met.
Yeah.
And my question is, you're 31, almost 32. I'm 37. When I first looked at this app, I said, that's for freaking kids. Like, it's whatever. But I think it's a great freaking platform. Tell me how you got into social media and what's your social media look like other than TikTok? You can tell me about TikTok, but I'm saying also other than.
So I have started and stopped multiple different like social media presences. Mainly centered around gaming. I've done a thing in collaboration. Like we would just stream often between me and my buddies. Like I changed my name, I rebranded myself. I've moved from Twitch to Facebook gaming and just to see what it was like. So I've been like around the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook world for quite some time.
Okay.
But then I feel
Did
like
you ever get any traction?
Not really. I mean, I had
Not
friends
like
and stuff. Not like this. No. This is night and day. And I think this is actually more worthwhile content anyways, because that was like a decompression thing for me. Yeah. So it was more like, okay, I'll put a name to myself and then you can come watch me hang out with my friends. Yeah. That was really all it was. Yeah. But what was I saying? My brain.
Just like what your different social media presences look like.
Oh yeah. TikTok. That's what I was going to say. My next thing. So when it came to TikTok, I feel like my story is just like everybody else's. They were told about TikTok and they're like, no, I'm not downloading that. Are you kidding me? And then the next thing I know, I'm looking at my screen for 7 hours straight. I've seen that video that says, you should stop watching videos and go to bed. Like,
stop scrolling.
And sometimes like I'll get that come through on my phone. Like it's my second video that I've watched. And I'm like, I haven't even watched any videos yet. Go to bed. Like, but it's that kind of thing. Like I started to do it. My wife was like, she was okay with me doing it on TikTok and like wanting to do this thing. Yeah. But then I told her like, you should really download TikTok. Like it's addictive. I mean, it's like Vine 2.0. Like I don't know if you did Vine when Vine was around, but like, yeah. A little bit. Some of the stuff was very Vine-esque, and then a lot of this is like really new too, like some of the content creation. So it was really cool to see it kind of change and morph over time. And then my wife was like, I just caught her one day on TikTok, and she's like, "This is great. Why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "I told you about it. Don't tell me I didn't tell you about it."
My wife freaking loves TikTok, but she's so quiet and the opposite of me. That I tried to get her to do a TikTok. You know that this you guys are gonna laugh at this. You know the ones where it's like, yeah, my wife's told me she didn't love me today and blah blah blah. And then you hear her say, I didn't say that. I just said that you couldn't, and I was trying to get her to say, I didn't say that. I just told you couldn't buy more crypto, right? So that's all I wanted her to say. Couldn't get her to do.
Wouldn't do it.
I wasn't
even off
camera. I
wasn't
asking her to get. I was not asking her to get on camera. Nothing. She's just not. It's just not. She just isn't. She loves it. I mean, she can scroll. That woman can scroll, right?
Yeah. My wife is so behind the scenes. It's not even funny. I get it. She would not do a video with me if I asked her. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. No doubt. For sure.
That's crazy.
So then why are you okay? So you get this following on TikTok, right? And then I know it spills over into like your Discord and Twitter and all these other things. Yeah. But why ultimately are you doing what you're doing? Like, why when I get onto a live stream and I hear you talking to people about crypto and just giving like solid sound, like discussions about some of this stuff, like why do you do it?
So there's been kind of like there's been a morphing to the way my reasoning has been like from the very beginning of this thing. The first time I wanted to get on TikTok and do something was because I really felt like, well, one, I'll tell you this much. I'm not the most well-versed when it comes to TA. I'm not the most well-versed when it comes to even some of these other TikTok creators, like really get into the DAO maker stuff and like IPOs and IDOs and things like that. And I haven't really done a ton of that up until recently. I've done a couple things, but like I really don't know like this whole Titan thing that's been going on. Like I know what it is, but like there are people that know way more about it and Mark Cuban than I do and things like that. So I had this moment where I was like, I'm gonna tell him something that I think is really cool, and then I'll just post it when I feel like it. And then it just started to kind of become a more what I liked about TikTok is that it became more of a natural conversation than a produced video. Yeah. So for me, it was really easy to pick up my phone and just record what I'm thinking and turn it off and post it, than to hook up my DSLR and like record a YouTube video and like edit it and post it that way. So it freed me up to just talk about what I'm thinking about. And then I made one stupid video about how I hated SHIB in SafeMoon, and it freaking took off. And I'm gaining, I forget how many it was like 10,000 followers, or not 10,000. It's like 2,000 followers every day. Yeah. Just consistently. It's back to back to back to back. And I'm like, of course you get that little thing like, under your belt where you're like, I need to make some more videos. And so those videos did pretty decent, like during that growth time. Yeah. But most people just look at the FYP and then move on, right? So, but for the most part, like there was a lot of people that just followed because of that, and they also were really irritated with what I'd say about it. Yeah. So yeah, it's been that, and then like it went like crazy spike, and then now we're back down to like reality again. So that's why like followers really is not that big of a deal. Like you're gonna get the same content with me at 2,000 as you are at 40,000 as you're gonna get 100K and 1 million. I'm not gonna change my tone. But when I get into a video, my whole purpose, because that's the original question, the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do is to educate people about cryptocurrency so that they don't get screwed over. Yeah. And that they also understand the fundamentals of how cryptocurrency works and how they can get their hands on it and get started in the industry. So a lot of my stuff that I want to talk about are like super foundational. Like they're not even like these crazy situations. It's like, what's a wallet? What's a blockchain? Yeah. What about this currency? What about that currency? What makes it different from Bitcoin to Ethereum? Like just little things that people would ask anyways if someone, said like, oh, I heard about this cryptocurrency thing. What's this about? What's that about? And I've already been doing that with family members. So I was like, I should just turn the camera on and do it anyways with other people. So that's been kind of cool. Obviously I am like, I am super like not a fan of cameras and limelight for anything. So I chalk it up as, I don't know if I know I'm humble to a degree, but even that's not a humiliating statement. What I'm trying to say is, I don't really care for the camera too much and like this like type of attention and making videos. I actually like shut down for a period of time and didn't make any more videos. And then I made another video saying that I wanted to do it, and for any other reason, it had nothing to do with me and the way I looked and how I felt on the camera, and everything to do with the people I'm talking to and them not getting screwed over because I was that passionate about it. Yeah. So Blockchain Boy commented on that, so I was like on cloud 9 at that point too, because that's just really cool. Crypto Wendy liked a couple of my videos and thought it was really cool. So I'm just honored to be able to talk to other people that want to talk to me about cryptocurrency, other thing like that. So it's just been really cool so far. And as time goes on, I'm sure it's going to get even crazier. The community on TikTok is really interesting too, because it's not like other social media platforms. Like every single person that I've met is a real person, like a real person, and they all have a real story about what they're doing in crypto. Like there's just now they're your XRP army people. That's a whole nother league of people, you know what I'm saying? But in general, like Crypto Wendy's real, Blockchain Boy's real, BitBoy Crypto is real. I mean, like these people are legitimate. Mac Lorden, he's real. And these people are actual real people. Like he was getting married. Like these are actual people's lives being documented in real time. And it's just, it's different from what I've experienced on other platforms. So I just really have enjoyed that. The personal aspect of it, meeting you through here. Like that's been, it's so weird. Like of all places too, like freaking Columbus and where I'm at, which is just south of Canton. So
we're literally a couple hours apart.
Yeah. So it's things like that just kind of make you go like, yeah, I'm glad I joined this community. And that, this is what we're doing. So
I will tell you, I really appreciate the TikTok community, and I couldn't agree with you more as doing it to not just put out some of my ideas, right? It's not so much about that. It's that I saw a lot of, as great as the community is, there's also a lot of trash, and there's a lot of stuff that's just freaking flat out wrong. People trying to take advantage of people, shilling stuff they have no business shilling. And when I would see that stuff, to me, it stood out. But I know that there's a lot of people that don't understand the crypto markets, that it doesn't stand out. And so all of a sudden, it gets people asking questions that, to me, it's like, hey, guys, like that's, be careful there. And so I know that you're the same way. So ultimately, goals, like your goal as a result of no matter how many followers you get, no matter what you're doing, your overall goal in creating on TikTok and in creating your new business. What is it? Is it that family side?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, like the whole purpose with the whole content creation thing is just to educate. primarily. Like I wasn't looking to make any money off of it. The only reason my Discord had a paywall was because everybody was coming in and safe mooning this, safe mooning that, and I was just done with it. Yeah. And I could not offer those private calls to anyone that wasn't serious. I didn't want to do it. It was the people that were willing to pay the $8.99. Like I made it worth it, obviously. And people have been repaying it, so they obviously think it's a value. We go over some really I can in Discord, like we screen share. So I would show my screen. I would show some things I'm doing in Binance, and we did a whole tutorial privately on how to do DEXs, and we'd go through a whole bunch of stuff. So I've tried to make that a value to a degree, but the whole purpose of it was just to educate people. I don't ever ask anyone to send me money over Venmo or pay me anything. I don't have a Telegram group. I don't have any of that. People ask me, and the sad thing is I've had a couple people pop into my Discord and they're like, "Are you the real Crypto Brandon?" And I'm like, "That's a good question. How do I prove that to you?" Because they're all like that. But it's been cool to see the Discord grow. Now, right now, crypto's been kind of sideways and boring as heck for quite some time, or month or so. So for me, BPQ, Brandon, please explain to everyone why you went all in on Monkey Fart Coin. Yeah,
they've been trolling people with that Monkey Fart Coin for a minute now. That's really funny.
10 grand, man, gone.
I know. Monkey Fart Coin, so no. Why? How did you learn about crypto? And then why is crypto? So everybody's got their thing. Like if they're creating on TikTok, if they're creating on other platforms, they've got their thing, right? Yeah. How did you get into crypto, and why crypto on here?
Gotcha. So I had gotten into crypto in 2016, early 2017. It really just started out. I was working as an IT administrator in a town south of me, and I just started to kind of watch the market and people talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum. Really, that's usually where the conversation stopped. The altcoins were not really talked about a whole lot outside of people that were hardcore. Mm-hmm. So even though Ethereum's an altcoin, I'm just saying. So I would kind of mess with it. I had a couple buddies that, we put a couple $100 in here and there. We rode that sucker up to the top, 19.4 or whatever, and didn't sell anything at all. We rode the euphoria straight to the top. We bought the top multiple times, bought the top, and then watched that thing. We hit the whole way down. We were like, hey, it's going to go back up, man. It's going to go back up, man. Didn't sell a single thing, wrote it out, ended up just losing money by the time we were done. I think we were up to 5K. I was down to $800. And I just was I wasn't even versed in any of the mentalities you should be in when you're investing about, buying the dips and holding long-term and all that stuff. I freaking sold everything I had at the $800 mark, threw it into Doge and forgot about it.
Which actually,
had I just listened to myself and not pulled out that wallet and sold it at the end of November, December last year, I could have made bank.
Yeah. But that's how it goes, man. And at the end of the day, I've had people ask me some questions like that. And I think that for me, and I think you and I have had this conversation, we can't live in a world where, for example, for me, I can't live in a world where it's what if I had never tried drugs, right? Or what? It's hey, this is what happened. This is where we're at, right? And, you live and learn. So let me ask you. I actually, Meg, who's in my chat right now, she's great. She's just getting into crypto, and she's got some good videos out there. But she asked me earlier. She asked me, what has been your biggest lesson learned since you got into crypto, and what does that look like for you? What is that?
So I'll tell you this. The biggest thing that I've heard this multiple times. It's not like I've been unaware of this being a real thing. I just never really applied it to myself until probably this bull run. Honestly, when it comes to patience, I suck. To the point where it's detrimental. And I always that whole like in crypto, there's just that little theory that you hold, or hodl, all along, and then you're like, I'm gonna move it somewhere else, and then it moons. Like that was me on everything. So I just got super frustrated. But I think patience has been the biggest thing for me. Really leaning into the why I chose to invest into something, and not even following what's going on, like with the FUD and stuff like that. Like that's probably been between that and emotionally reacting to the market. I think that those are the two things that I have made myself through pain, through not understanding, choosing not to understand, but purely off of historical data, buying the dip, hodling, knowing where we're at in the market, really being convicted about where that stuff is. And since I've been going against what everyone else is doing, so if you're in greed index, everyone's fearful, I'm buying. When everyone's in euphoric mode, I'm selling. I did not do that in 2017. I got wrecked because of that. So I've been doing that, and it's true. Like the whole market is literally just human psychology. That's all it is. I mean, the people run that euphoric run, and then they get rug pulled, like it's all done, and then just it goes right back down again. Now, granted, in that chart, we end up always printing higher and higher over the overarching market, but that's been the big thing for me, is just patience and not being that emotional investor that's watching it go down and selling and realizing going back up again, and just packing in the crypto as much as I can.
Yeah, beating your head against the wall because you freaking couldn't be patient, and then all of a sudden, the moment that you switch it to something else, it absolutely moons, and then you're just beating.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this is the reality of it. I mean, I've had it as early as today. I had someone that messaged me and said, "Hey, pull all your crypto and put it into AMC," and I was like, "No." Like I took profits. I hope everybody's taking profits. I took profits on a project, pulled out $2,000, threw it into AMC, and I've been running that up, and I'm over 10K now.
Yeah,
that's something I'll do, but I'm not going to pull my money out of crypto. That's just that's not because AMC is the one that's got everything under this light right now. That doesn't mean you should chase it. Like continue to do what you know, which is investing in these really good projects. Crypto's not dead. It's not going anywhere. And just stay the course, and don't run the hype trains. On top of that, the other risk that you run into with this is like you got to wait for that money to move, over to your bank, then from your bank back to them, and then by that time maybe Bitcoin's made a move, and you're like, oh crap, I should have done that. It's just a reality of it. So I just choose not to be that person. I take profits where I can, and I move them into other assets, other projects, things like that. And that's been working for me. So I just continue to do it.
That's really great. That's really great advice. So I'm going to ask you some fun questions here in a second, like just kind of off the wall stuff.
Okay.
Because I think they're fun to ask. But let me ask you probably the most serious question that I've asked you. Have you had like one like real deal struggle in your life that you can look back on? Like, I'll give you an example. Like with me, it was drugs and alcohol, right? Have you had like a real deal, like life struggle where you look back on it and you say like, man, I've overcame this, or how you were able to do that? Have you struggled with anything?
No, I'm perfect.
You know what? That's fantastic. I knew I needed to be friends with you. You could help me out with just all of my problems.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I if anyone actually says that, I don't think they're real, but I have actually I've gone through quite a lot. I have dealt with panic and anxiety disorder since I was like 12. I've been on medication for it. I've gone through therapy for it. It's been crazy. Yeah. And I've gone through job loss for it. It's been really weird. But yeah, I've gone through hell and back when it comes to panic and anxiety, to the point where I did lose a job because I couldn't fulfill part of my duties and things like that. And that was during the time I was working in IT. Part of the thing with crypto also was like, I can do this from home, which has been really nice for me too. So working for myself, I don't have that person that I'm, so stressed about something that's causing panic attacks or anything like that. So
that actually, I'll tell you, you are so like calm, cool, and collected when we talk. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
that actually really, and this is like, this is part of the reason right here why I love like just like opening up and talking to people about themselves. Like I would never ever guess that. Is that so? Is that getting better now? You're at home, you're around the family, you're doing this, you've got. I mean, is that better? Is that getting better?
So it is getting better, for sure. It's been like an up and down thing for like many years. I actually went through like some crazy situations in like middle school and high school where I had to like have the principal like just work with me to get my parents out. I had separation anxiety with my parents as a kid. I had a whole bunch of stuff that just, it was like underlying my entire life. And then I actually I was working for this company here in town or south of me. And I just had this massive like problem that I came up against. And I'm usually like really resourceful and really good at like figuring out how to get through something. That's like that's my thing. I'm just known for that problem solving. I'm able to kind of like completely deconstruct something from an engineering mindset just by looking at it and kind of playing with it and seeing how someone else would have done it. Like that's just what I do. And I've taken that in every aspect of my life and I've done pretty good with that. But this one thing I could not fix. I don't know what it did, but it something snapped and I just lost it. Panic attacks every night. Out of control feeling, like nothing was as controlled as I thought it was. Started asking myself questions about, can I even do what I'm doing at this job anymore? Like that one stupid little thing. I don't know what it was, but and ever since then, I've had multiple situations where, I thought, okay, well maybe if I leave this job and go somewhere else, I'll do better. Go to that job, ended up having to travel a lot, started having panic attacks on the road, driving an hour and a half away, 2 hours away for different projects, and was missing like times where I'd be able to meet up with someone for a scheduled event because they're so far away. It's for a school district doing their IT. So, it got really intense. Had a meeting with them. Like no one really understands it to a degree, especially in the business world. The conversation I had with them was like, listen, we know you're real. We know that you're a good person, but like we have an obligation to our customers and like we can't just let this one, like let it go. Obviously we want to do everything we can to accommodate you. And they did. But they basically just said like, we need you to decide, like, are you going to stay? Are you going to go? I need to make the decision like this week. So left that one. I started my own consulting business, did pretty well for about a year and a half, or a year really. And I was doing that primarily by myself, doing web work, coding websites, doing some computer IT consulting. Really, that was my big thing I was doing for about a year. And then I just kind of fell into working for Apple as a manager. So I got day in and day out, I was working with them from home. So that made things a lot easier for me.
Right.
But I was basically just kind of managing about 20 to 22, 23 employees on a daily basis, doing everything from their time punches to coaching them on how to handle customers and all of that. So, then I went from that to this. So I left that job to do this business endeavor, and it's been challenging, but
I wish you the best. You know that.
Dude, for sure.
I'm glad to hear that it's getting better for you, though. I know all about life. I know all about life struggles, but I am a firm believer that if you can identify the problem and admit that there's a problem there, then there's a solution to it. You know what I mean? So that's great too. Yeah. So let me ask you a couple fun ones. Well, the first one's not as fun, but do you have someone that you would say like is your hero, like somebody that you look to and say, wow, like I look up to that person like no other?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of cliche, but like my dad, is pretty amazing. He didn't do everything right, but he taught me a lot about like my dad's was a music director his whole life. So for him, like he was the one that kind of pushed me to do things that I was really uncomfortable doing. I learned how to do things the hard way. I did learn how to play guitar, drums, bass, because we're bands. We're like really thin on musicians. So like,
Right.
I was just like, cool, I'll pick up the guitar. And I just started to kind of watch YouTube videos. And like, I had to play with my dad all the time. So we really kind of like did that together. That was our thing for quite some time. And then, I mean, I think he's just been a really pivotal part of what I have been interested in life and like doing things well and music from a musician standpoint. Like he literally like took me under his wing and taught me everything he knows. And he didn't have to do that, but he did. And I think that's partly why I am the person I am today, for sure. And that I know how to do some of the things I know how to do.
So would you say that God's a part of your life because of what your dad introduced you to, or did it push you away? Or
that's a really deep question.
I know it is. And at any point you can tell me, hey, not answering that one. I'm cool.
No. These are good questions though. So as a PK,
and guys, PK is pastor's kid, if you're wondering.
Yeah.
I obviously knew what it was, but yeah. So pastor's kid, gotcha.
Yeah. So I went back and forth all through my life. Like when you're living in it, I mean, we're talking about like the days that I would have a sleeping bag on the concrete floor of our warehouse when my dad was building set designs for plays and things like that. Like I was there during all that construction, right. like all this stuff through everything. So for me, there was a point where I'm just like, I want nothing to do with this church thing. Like I don't want to do anything with it. It wasn't until I had my own like personal experience with Jesus that I even wanted to pursue it. Do I think being exposed to it through my dad in ministry was pivotal? I think, yeah. Cause it was always in front of me. But I do think that to a degree, it was equally as much of a turnoff. When you're just seeing, how these people are truly like staff, things like that. Like just saw things that church politics makes me want to vomit. Yeah. I lived it my whole life. It's really not fun. So for me, there was a point where I was like, I don't want anything to do with church politics. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm just going to be the Christian that I know I am. And I'm going to talk to people about what matters. And that's Jesus. That's it. So for me, that's just primarily where I've been coming from. But yeah, I think that, him doing that definitely exposed me to what I should have known and what I needed to know. And then obviously, like there's been a lot of influence in that department through other family members and things like that too.
Yeah, that's cool, man. One of the things that when I talk to people about my relationship with Christ, it's like, it's not about religion. Like so a lot of times, and this is a whole different story. We're not going to just go down this rabbit hole right now, but a lot of times when people that don't have a fundamental understanding of an actual relationship with God, right? They think religion, and religion is political. Religion is rules and regulations. And I always try to encourage people if they're trying to kind of figure out where they're going, where they're at, where they want to be, to work on that relationship. It's literally a conversation. Prayer is not this big crazy thing that needs to be, oh, holiest Jesus, thou art. Like, no, like, hey, I'm
well, that's been the biggest problem.
You know what I mean?
The biggest problem for me is like anymore, like the whole Christian thing is a turnoff for everybody because they've just been burned by the Christianese life. Like there's just been way too much like that, that just turn people off from church, that turn people off from,
and that's like that's the religious side of it. That's the oh, well, because the Bible says this, we're not going to be, you can't come to our church or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. That is not at all what is written in the Bible that I've been reading, right? And I totally do. I couldn't agree with you more. So yeah, that's why I always try to push people to work on the relationship side of things. So that's cool. All right. So speaking of heroes, if you could be a superhero, who would you be and why?
Dang. I've like always been the Spider-Man fan.
Okay.
I have always like, so I have a VR headset too. Yeah. And there's a VR game.
I can see that. Maybe we need to see you on that sometime because those freaking crack me up, dude.
It's so awesome. Like there's a VR experience where you can play as Spider-Man, and it satisfied, it scratched every itch for me about web slinging that you could ever want. So like for me, that was like the.
So you're standing in your living room, like.
Oh yeah. Well, like you have the two controllers, so you're just constantly spraying web and whatever. But it makes, I mean, it puts you right in the middle of it. So for me, that was like that satisfied that itch for superpower stuff. But yeah, I think Spider-Man would probably be the one that I would want, primarily just because of the web slinging thing, and that's pretty much just it. The whole it's basically like all the whole like flying experience without flying. There's just a little more control to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, what did you want to be when you grew up? When you were like a kid? Did you have something that you look back and like, oh, I always wanted to be a fireman or a policeman?
I wanted to be a police officer.
Yeah.
And then I got fat. And I lost all desire to attempt to do that. Plus, like a whole bunch of life stuff just happens. And you're just like, yeah, that's not going to be the career path I'm taking. I'm a musician. Like, I'll probably just play music, and that's my thing. I did a lot of music. I mean, I was leading worship with my dad on stage. I was playing at coffee shops. I can. Yeah. I just choose not to at times. But yeah, that's like kind of what I did. But yeah.
So speaking of music, then karaoke night. A, would you go to karaoke? And B, what is your go-to if you went to said karaoke night?
I don't think I would go to karaoke night. I would go to watch.
So I couldn't get you up on stage doing, like I like to do like Vanilla Ice, like Ice Ice Baby. Couldn't get you up there doing that.
Who doesn't like to do that?
That's great.
I would not be the one to do it. I would be the one that would sit there and just watch and just people watch the whole time.
That's funny. Are you a reader? Like, do you read books or no?
I don't read books, but there are times where I'll find something that's subject worthy that I will pick up and read. And when I do, I enjoy reading it, but I don't read from it.
So like I'm the same. And that's kind of changed over the years as I've gotten a little bit older. Like there's certain things like when I started getting into my Bible, that started to change. And like there were some certain things that definitely changed for me. But so crypto, for me, the Bitcoin Standard has been a freaking crazy good book. Do you have any crypto books that you've read, or this has all been self-taught, internet, all across the board?
There's no books that I've read on crypto. I've added plenty of them to my cart and wish list to like maybe dive into that really were around the time when I was just trying to learn what crypto and blockchain were from a fundamental standpoint. Yeah. But like YouTube and articles that I found online have been just as informative, and maybe even YouTube. I mean, there's so much out there. And when you can kind of watch like 10 different videos and they all have like a similar idea of what's going on, you really start to kind of like solidify an idea, and you start to kind of really figure out how these things are connecting. And there's some really good teachers like on YouTube. I mean, just the way they explain is really good. So for me, that's been my primary source. I may have read, literally maybe have broken the pages of one book ever. And even then I probably didn't finish it.
Yeah. So guys, I'm going to ask one more question. If you guys have questions in both chats, shoot them out if you got anything you want to ask Brandon. But last question that I have, let's see. I like this one. So if you had 24 hours to do absolutely freaking anything, right? What would that day look like? You kind of give me a look at that day.
24 hours and then like I no longer exist.
Just like if you just absolutely got to describe what would be your perfect day, what would it look like?
A perfect day, and I had more days to come. So I'm such a homebody. It's sad. I would like to sleep in till 10.
Okay.
Wake up, come downstairs. I love sitting at my computer, looking at charts, looking at cryptocurrency, looking at my email, drinking coffee. Something that I did this morning that I wish I would be able to do every morning, and I'm going to talk to my wife about it, because now that we have this business endeavor, I want to make this more of a routine thing. But like, I got to sit outside of my front porch with my kid and my wife this morning. It was just perfect out. Like, I like that, just out there. I was on my phone. I was looking at TikTok. I was reading messages, responding to things. I really do enjoy doing that. Looking through comments, all of that. So, like, that is a part. I would say that is like the part of my perfect day. But the other aspect of it, I mean, man, I mean, I just really enjoy. I really enjoy like working on the computer on projects and things like that. Playing games, like playing video games with friends, is a big deal for me too. So if I got to do that in the evening for like an hour or whatever, or two with a buddy or whatever, like that would be ideal. But I know it's kind of lame.
No, dude, I think at the end of the day, like, my perfect day has changed over the years, right? And now that I have this new baby, like, that it's changed in the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But no, I totally, dude. I go to bed like the only reason that I stay up late anymore now is because of freaking TikTok, because I started doing this, right? This is why I even stay up late. Like, right now it's 10 o'clock. I normally, prior to the last 3 weeks when I started this TikTok endeavor, I would already be laying in bed right now. And, you know, I just, I get it. I totally understand. I would, for me, if you're interested, I would go to Cedar Point as part of my day. I freaking love roller coasters. I'm just a adrenaline junkie there. So that would definitely be it today.
My dad and my uncle, they are like roller coaster junkies. They did this prior to, like, this was probably like maybe 10 years ago. They would go, like, or not 10 years ago. This has been way more than that. This has been like 15, 16 years ago. They would like go on trips together to like all the different parks. Like, at one point they actually planned on checking out like theme parks across country, like in China, and like they wanted to go and like experience all of it. But they would go on trips together just to try out every single ride. They crossed off every ride they tried them all. At the time, there's new ones, obviously, but that was their thing. And they were just like, why don't you want to ride roller coasters? I'm like, I do, but I don't want to do that like every single day, all day. I would lose my freaking mind. But
yeah, that's cool. I've ridden a whole lot of freaking roller coasters. So leading into chat, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to ask you a crypto question to finish. You get one cryptocurrency to buy today. Well, no, hold on. Let me back that up. You get one cryptocurrency to hold on your ledger. What is it?
Ethereum.
Yes. I knew I liked you.
Yep. Why? It would be Ethereum. There's many reasons. The core reason, I guess you'd have to look at like adoption, how long it's been around. Like, those are small primary things I think about. Then you've got like all the different spaces that are currently running on that chain. You've got DeFi, you've got NFTs, you really have everything. Like, everything's running on that chain. Yes, they've got high gas fees, but people are willing to pay it because everything's on it. Yeah. So that paired with adoption and paired with its history, those typically end up being the ones that are confident investments long term. So if I had to pick one that wasn't speculative, that was going to be a long-term thing, that wasn't Bitcoin, and probably is going to have a higher ROI and percentage per year of growth, would be Ethereum.
Yeah, I'm with you. Do you have any? So somebody's asking if you have any experience with gambling.
Do I have any experience with gambling?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, to a degree.
So they're asking for you to share your experience with gambling and what that looks like.
I mean, so for me, like, listen, my family, like my mom, she's from the South. She has this like addiction to those quarter machines that, they have like all the quarters laying down, like you put it in, it like pushes it.
Yeah,
pusher game.
Yeah.
She'll dump $100 in that easy just to watch it do its stuff. So for me, I always have dealt with that like addiction to like doing that kind of stuff. So like for me, like Dave and Buster's scratched that itch. I'll go there sometimes for stuff like that. But I have gone, I've gone to a couple casinos before. We have one in Cleveland that's like crazy awesome. we've done some stuff there. I went there on my my bachelor party. We actually went there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Really, nobody was really wanting to do anything crazy that night. We just kind of watched other people. Like, there's a dude that was passed out drunk up against a machine and just like sleep, and we just sort of like,
look at him.
Yeah, look at him. So we watched him roll out the jackpot chest with security, with all the money in it. Like, it just crazy stuff like that. I mean, it's just fun to watch to me. I'm a big people watcher. But what I like to do is once I found crypto, I started playing blackjack.
Really?
Crypto blackjack.
So crypto blackjack. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. So you would send over. If you're interested, I'll send you the site in DM. But basically, you go on, you supply it with Tether. They switch those Tether USDs into their own in-game currency, and then live real video people at a table, and you play with other
before.
Yeah. And I've played it, and I've done really good at it.
Really?
And that's my, like, that's the thing I do when I feel like gambling. I just spin up my computer, I put my headset on, and I just play on my 1440p monitor with this person.
Are you getting paid in Tether?
Yes. So once you're done with their currency, you can swap it back into Tether and then move it off.
Do you do that?
No. I mean, other than the network fees, but you don't pay a fee to them.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why gambling's not so. You guys have heard me talk about drugs and alcohol. Gambling was never one of my actual addictions, and part of the reason, this is going to sound crazy because I didn't learn from other people to not do drugs and alcohol. I still did it, but I have a good friend of mine who I'm talking about. We lived together, and okay, I'll give you an example. We're sitting one night playing. This is when internet poker got real big, right? And we're sitting there playing. We're just playing. At this point, I don't really know that he's got this problem, but he sure gambles a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had been drinking. I had been drinking, and nothing crazy though. Just having a few beers, whatever. And we had. I'm not going to be able to remember the hand, but basically we were up like $1,400, right? A good night, right?
Yeah.
I go to the bathroom. I walk back in. I look at the screen. And he's all in on literally a nothing hand. And I said, bro, what are you doing? And he was like, I got a freaking straight, man. I said, dude, that's not a jack or whatever it was. And he just had looked at one of the cards wrong and he had absolutely nothing and just lost it all, right? So then immediately he re-upped to that point, put $1,400 that he really didn't have at that point back in, and started going again. And ultimately, at the end, like, he is a gambling addict, and I watched it. Absolutely, I'll tell you what, it was devastating to watch. I watched him blow $30,000 in like an hour at the casino one night, and it's just disgusting. It's really sad, man. It really is. It's scary.
Oh yeah, and like for me, I wouldn't say it's like any kind of an addiction for sure. Definitely not compared to that, but like for me, I really like I'd never done more than like $100 on something just for like fun. I think the last time I played blackjack, it was like $50, and I ended up losing all of it anyway. So it was like whatever.
Yeah.
But I do that. I'll double down on something. I will. I'll go all in on something stupid, and it's an inside joke because me and my buddy, we both play blackjack together. He gets screwed over every single time, and so I'll just do something stupid. Like we actually have VR poker and VR blackjack because we both have VR headsets, and we'll sit around a table with other people and play poker and blackjack. And
hold on, are you actually playing with people?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. In VR, you've got you're in like 3D space and you're all around the same table. It's crazy.
I'm so out of touch, bro. I never knew that this type of stuff was going on. That's wild.
It's crazy. So we'll do that. And then there's times where like we'll play blackjack and he's like has everything perfect, like ready to get that perfect 21. And I'll do something like double down on a 7. And he's like, what are you doing? You're an absolute idiot. And I'll get like a 19, and then it'll be like a 17 that the dealer has, and I'm like, I won. He's like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Yeah. So I just do stupid things like that, and they usually end up being in my favor. But I think it's just when I do that in like the VR thing, the gaming thing of it, it itches that itch for me. Like I don't need to like spend money. I just think it's really interesting that you can use crypto
to do it.
And I think that's what's enticing about that. I've only done it once or twice here recently, like especially with COVID. Like I've played around with it a couple of times, but it's just really, really strange that the people are real and they're actually at the table. Like they'll actually interact with you like Twitch. You can chat back at them. You can, whatever. They'll talk to you, but they change out the table like every 30 minutes. So like there's a new person every 30 minutes. I don't know. It's interesting.
That's wild. I did not know. I've seen the people do like the roulette or whatever, where they're like waiting on that freaking rocket thing. Like
I've done that, by the way.
Dude, for me, no thanks. It's too much. And plus, I would suck at it. I know I would. The only reason I thought about that I might not suck at it, maybe you can put some light on this. Can't you just 1.1x, 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 like?
Oh yeah.
Does it?
But there are times where it's like blast off, instant zero destruction. Yeah. It happens every once in a while, but like for me, I never did that with real money because there's a lot of issues with like the U.S. This particular blackjack casino thing that's online was okay for U.S. customers at the time. It actually still is okay, but like there's issues with that game. I don't think there's certain things we can do when it comes to playing that Rubets game or whatever it is. But yeah, I did play it with crypto at one time, and I would go and I would be rocking it. Like I would hold on for like a 5x or an 8x on my money. I'm putting like a couple bucks in at a time or whatever.
Right.
But
still.
But then like I'll hit a streak of just like 5 in a row, like zero, not even off the launch pad, just gone. And done. Your crypto's gone. Like I think I was doing Bitcoin at the time with it, and it's just like it's gone. So
yeah. So then let's twist that to crypto. Do you have any crypto gambling that you're doing right now, as I like to call it? Like crypto. When I say that, I'm saying
SHIB
or something like that.
At the moment,
I call that gambling. That's me.
Oh, it is. It is 100% gambling. I'm not doing anything right now. I sold all my SHIB I had just because people were talking about it. And I'm like, fine, whatever. Like in my Discord, the guys were just poking me with it. I'm like, okay. I pulled out a couple of CRO rewards I had and like threw a couple $100 at it, and I was done.
Yeah.
And then it went down to like 110 or something like that. And I just sold it. And I don't plan on buying it back, but I'm not really a big fan of the pump coins and the like Cum Rocket.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
There was a couple places that were they were touting it was Cum Rocket and some porn token, and I'm just like, what does this world come to? Like we've lost all fundamentals of cryptocurrency. Like we're just naming things to be stupid, and I'm just not there, not feeling it.
No, we've talked about that before. I am 100% with you. And yeah,
I'd much rather play black.
Yeah, right. That's funny. I did not know that they did that. I did not know that they did that. You got anybody in your chat asking anything?
No, not really.
Okay. Dude, I appreciate you jumping on here and doing this. What time is it? A little bit over an hour. Perfect. Yeah, man. As always, dude, I freaking appreciate it. If you need anything at all, you already know I'm here.
Oh yeah, dude.
You just want to freaking bounce something off me because you're having one of those freaking days, dude. I literally always answer my phone, and I mean that. And you know what I mean. Yeah. So just want you to know, like, I'm here. So let me.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot, man.
All right, dude. I think, and I actually think I'm gonna crash out tonight, guys. So I'm gonna actually go to bed. I don't think I'm gonna stay on here. So. As always, everybody on here, if nobody's told you before this today, I freaking love each and every one of you, and I hope you guys have a great night. Brandon, follow me, set the notifications, do your thing, TikTok. Have a great night, guys.
Peace.
See you, bro.